feel the crack of the jaw. Everyone say, "How the hell do you keep going even when you break a jaw?" Like, and it's just that's just my my drive and my mentality. Like, I mean, I'd fight till the end.
Experience Real podcast.
Here you are, Angelo. Thank you for coming in, mate.
No problem. It's a pleasure to be on the show. I can see you doing great things on social media and stuff, and it's a pleasure to be on the podcast. So thank you.
Oh, thanks for coming, mate. The pleasure's all mine. And I kind of got into like following your social media after your previous fight with Dante Dixon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that was one hell of a fight. I watched it back a couple of times, and
yeah, it was an exciting fight, and obviously an exciting experience being on Sky Sports. My first experience, me fighting on the big stage, as they say. And obviously, like I say, on a couple of interviews, like it's a bit different, obviously, because you were behind closed doors. It was just a weird, surreal experience. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was a great fight, and put up a great performance, and hopefully it'll open more opportunities in the future for me.
Yeah.
Like after the fight, Eddie and Billy Joe Saunders tweeted me and said, all the best for the future. And I think I made my stamp then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, mate, you definitely put on a show, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was only kind of up until that last minute, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah.
You could have gone. Not even. You put a hell of a performance out there and made a good show yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I think it was quite even until like maybe the 4th, 5th round, maybe. And obviously I don't know whether you knew, my jaw broke in the last round, and that's when obviously he was he kind of smelled the blood then. You know what I mean? But yeah, there was no way I was taking. If it, like I did say, if it was a longer round, a longer fight, maybe 10 rounds, it probably would have taken a knee. Would have been a wise decision. But you know what I mean? Last minute of the fight, they're never gonna.
Gotta see it out.
Yeah, gotta see it out. Like,
mate, it was a hell of an effort because I watched it, and then I think I'd watched an interview with you talking about how it was like the last minute you broke your jaw, and then you could literally see the change in you.
Yeah.
It was like
I remember looking. I didn't know what to do, to be honest. It's weird. There's like I've been boxing since nearly 17 years now, and I've never had an injury. Obviously. I've been cut and all that, but an injury like that is just like a new experience. So yeah, like literally you could feel the crack of the jaw, and then I was just like, what the fucking, there's something wrong there. And I just like I said, I was a little bit too scared to throw another punch, because if I landed another one, it'd be more damage kind of thing. So I kind of just wrapped up and just tried to hold on for my life at the end of the day.
It shows though what type of person you are, because I think like until you're taken to them depths, like I'm sure you don't know
exactly.
You don't know how you're going to react.
100%. Like, but yeah, it definitely shows your character and shows kind of what you believe in, really, innit?
Yeah, definitely, mate. What was the recovery like for that?
To be fair, like the way people are talking, like broken jaws, you'll have a long time off to recover and all that, but. I think after the first week of like cups of soup and stuff, I had enough. So I was like cutting my food up really small. My missus laughed at me because I was just cutting it up small and just swallowing it because I was just choking half the time. Like, but yeah, he's eating solids pretty quick. But I'd say about 6 to 7 weeks, and I could feel it obviously getting better. First 2 weeks was the worst, obviously swollen. Anesthetic was still wearing off.
Yeah.
Still a bit. My bottom lip is still a bit numb. They say it takes about 6 months for it all to go. Like.
Oh really? That's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
I bet it was mad though, because you'd probably just gone through like this hard camp, weight cut and everything.
Yeah.
And then afterwards you can't even eat the food you've been like craving.
I know. Normally after the fight, straight to Domino's, like.
Put it in the blender, like.
Yeah, crazy. But I've definitely made up for it now, especially with the lockdown as well. We've had plenty of takeaways and stuff.
That's it, mate. Yeah, you can't get out for a meal now, innit?
No, so it's crazy.
It's the go-to. But
yeah.
If you don't mind, if we could like take it back to where it like began for you, I suppose.
Yeah, sure. Well, basically, like I said, I've been boxing about 16, 17 years now. Started late, really. I say about 16 I started. I think I had my first senior amateur fight when I was 16. I went straight into the seniors. So I joined the club. I was born in Carmarthen. and I joined the club Premier ABC, which is in Swansea.
Yeah.
Just to really, my cousin was boxing in the club anyway, and I don't know whether you know, like when you're in your hometown kind of thing, is you get like a bit of people who don't like to see you do well and all that. Do you know what I mean? And it's weird how people act like that. To be honest, you get those kind of I don't know whether it's jealousy or it's just general people. And yeah, I've just always been one of those people to like take myself out of that situation and knuckle down. And so I went into the Swansea gym, and you know what I mean, when you were surrounded with people from your own town, I feel just like it's just a lot of backstabbing, bitching, and all that. So it wasn't like that at all. It's just you were going up there from Carmarthen, and you're just surrounded by other people, and that's how I think it stood me in good stead as well. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think like you said, I think people get jealous.
Yeah.
I think they see you doing well, and it kind
exactly,
of you doing well, although it shouldn't, kind of pokes holes in their insecurities, doesn't it? It's like,
that's it. Yeah.
Oh, why can't I do what he's doing, sort of thing. I don't think it's a knock on you. I think it's like their own insecurities.
Yeah, and you get that like in life experiences, unfortunately. Like, but I've never been like that personally. Like, I just want people to do well and succeed in life.
Yeah.
And I mean, just you should always be good to people at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, going back to the Swansea gym, I did all my amateur career. I loved it. The coach Stephen Brophy, Spud, his nickname is. He's a great coach. He's like dedicated his life to boxing. Like he's coming up to about 63 now, and he's just still in the gym day in day out. Just, I mean, he's created so many Welsh champions, British champions, and even I'm just turning pro, and you know what I mean. He's probably standing him in good stead. Like, and he's
never gonna give it up. Like,
never gonna give up, and he's just an all round great bloke. Like, do you know what I mean? And he's a bit of a father figure in the gym, and he's awesome, Spud, and I owe all my success to him. Really, that's where I started, and I always like that. Even the Sky Sports fight the other day, and I always remember where it came from, kind of thing. Yeah. So in the interviews, and I just wore my Premier T-shirt. Just to give him a little bit something back, obviously getting a bit of exposure. I don't know whether you noticed as well in my fights, I always wear green socks, so that's the colour of cool. That's the colour of the Premier ABC, so I always kind of remember my roots. And I think some people as well, obviously, as they get more successful, they kind of forget where they left off, and you know what I mean, or where they started. Sorry,
who might give them that drive?
So
first initial push.
For me, you wouldn't have got to where you are without them kind of things. You can't forget those people, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I started in the Premier ABC. I had about 26 amateur fights, so not really hell of a lot of experience. I wasn't the best of amateurs. I didn't win any Welsh vests or any medals, like going to the Olympics or anything. I think I had 26 fights, 12 wins and 14 wins and 12 losses. So it's not really a pretty record. But I just got to see hard work and just whoever's in a fight to me knew they were having a hard night, basically.
Yeah, win or lose, they were coming out feeling it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like again, my style didn't really suit the amateurs. I was just aggressive coming forward. I didn't really, work off my jab or nothing or set things up. We're just fucking brawling.
Seems to be a bit of a contrast between like amateur and pro.
Yeah, like I was thinking on the way up actually. We obviously talk about amateur and professional, but it's like someone told me the other day, it's a bit like rugby union and rugby league.
Yeah.
It's like two different sports, like, do you know what I mean? Obviously the rugby league, it's a bit more physical and then just non-stop tackling and all that. Rugby union is a bit stop-start. I know it's obviously boxing, but amateur boxing is a bit like tip-tap, counting the shots kind of thing. Yeah. And boxing then is you kind of separate the men from the boys a little bit, you know what I mean?
Is that purely because of like the headgear? You may as well tip-tap because the knockouts just not come in like the same?
When I first started boxing, there was a scoring system, so they used to count all the clean shots kind of thing.
Yeah.
So obviously every like clean shot, the referees will have a clicker kind of thing, and then obviously at the end of the fight, then it might be like 20-14 kind of thing. But obviously in the pros, you have yours. If you have a bad round, it's not the end of the world. Then you can always pull it back, so you get scored 10-9 kind of thing. So it's a totally different ball game, to be honest. Yeah. But obviously it suits me because I'm a come forward fighter, and sometimes come forward fighter can obviously if someone's putting a constant pressure on in the rounds kind of thing, you could kind of favour towards your advantage, and you know.
Yeah, you see that quite a lot, don't you? It's the same with like pro boxing and UFC.
Yeah.
The person who comes forward, even if they're taking more shots, like sometimes it goes in their favour. Then
Yeah,
it's just like
exactly.
pressure, innit? They take a lot of pressure.
Someone's just kind of sitting back on the ropes, kind of thing. Even though they're having the most clear shots, like, but it's the one who's putting the effort in, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
what got you into boxing? If you
coming into boxing, basically I was a bit of a knob, really. Back in the day, I was a bit of a you know, fucking head case, and used to like go out and just drinking every day, and I took a wrong few paths, really. Went down the drugs route and stuff like that, which is you know, obviously my own mistakes and all that, and fall into wrong crowds. No, it was only to myself to blame, but I just wasting my life away, really. Do you know what I mean? And just getting a bad name for myself. Just getting it was you know, going out in the piss, fucking fighting, and just getting into trouble. And just my uncles and cousins used to box and all that, and then I just used to look at them. My cousin Luca Dragone, he's a 3 times Welsh champion. He was younger than me. He's about 5-6 years younger than me, and he was doing so well. And he's looking, fuck, I could be like that, like, do you know what I mean? And I just started going up in the car with him to the gym. And just I only went up to kind of hit the bag and just focus, right, to get off that nonsense now and concentrate on yourself. Like, otherwise you're just gonna fucking kill yourself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, and I just fell in love with it, to be honest, and just fell in love with the gym up in Swansea. And it just kind of changed my life around, really. And obviously never looked back, and you know, we learned a hell of a lot of lessons. But I always say I would never change that now, because I've learned, you know,
it's made you the person you are,
the person I am. And like I've changed, like I obviously do my kids academy, and personal training now, and I see a couple of the kids go doing those mistakes now. And I had a phone call not so long ago. I won't mention names, obviously, but one of the kids in the gym was like smoking a spliff on Snapchat and stuff like that. Like, but I had to kind of tell my, it was quite a big thing what to do, really, at the start. Obviously I've been through it and all that, but I phoned their parents and I said, look, this is what's happening. One of the boys was a lovely kid and all that, and I don't want them falling down the wrong road. I explained to myself that I've done those mistakes. And I don't know, he's a natural talent, and I felt bad in a way, like, but
you got duty of care, like,
they thanked me after for recognising it, and so they could approach him and talk to him. At the end of the day, it could save someone's life at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? It could
definitely, mate. It does. When I was a kid, like, I used to always look at it and think, like, nah, that's not a gateway drug. Like, you get these people come into schools and give you these talks and stuff. Don't do this, don't do that. It'll lead to this. Like, because when I was younger, I used to smoke. Yeah. Like, I used to drink every weekend. I never fell into drugs, luckily. But I always used to think, nah, bullshit. But then I see, like, so many people, my friends and stuff. Yeah. It does just lead on from one thing to another, unless you've got, like, someone who could intervene or recognise it. Because, like, I think my parents didn't know half the things I was up to. Like, how would they know? Like, I know. It's surprising what you can hide, isn't it?
Exactly. It's just, just looking back, like, it's just... I mean, like I said, I'm glad they kind of went through all that, because it's made me who I am today. Like, I feel like it's made me mentally stronger, physically stronger, and like, do you know what I mean? Like, just in my mind now, I can pass it on to other people, and it's made me have that bit more drive about me, and a bit more like, you could potentially say, like, going back to that Dante Dixon fight, you know what I mean? Breaking my jaw and having that survival mode and that bit of grit between your teeth. Like, you gotta get when you come in from the bottom up and all that, do you know what I mean? I wasn't like gifted that opportunity on Sky Sports kind of thing. I worked hard to get to that level, do you know what I mean? So I just feel like kind of what's the word, transparent to that. You know what I mean?
Kind of. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because you had this past experience, you could draw from that and be like, I've been through hardship before, and I'm going to use this in this moment. And
again, I know, going back to like life skills and all that. Like, you know, like, people are gifted things in life. Like, so say, like, if someone's father's passed it on to this, like, silver spoon boy and all that, they seem to not care about the business kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? You see that quite often, like, and like do you know what I mean? It's when they got like so much money behind them and so much backing. Like, do you know what I mean? If they haven't started from that bottom and worked their way up, then I mean, they haven't got like kind of
you
experience.
see it like all the time, don't you? It's like Like if you do see someone's father like who's like a millionaire or whatever, and then their kid like just doesn't go on to do anything because, like you said, it's like, what do I have to work for it? It's here for nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's unfortunately like the day-to-day life is it sometimes like you look at people on benefits and all this and all that. I know it's there for you, like, to support you and stuff, but some people obviously take advantage of that stuff.
Abuse the system.
Yeah. So it's just the world we're in now, different generations, and all. You go back, say, 70 years in the olden days, everyone, the men are working, the women are cooking, kind of thing, innit?
Like,
it's all changed, like, innit? It's, do you know what I mean? I think I'd love to go back to the old days.
Do you think you're like an old head?
Yeah, definitely. My father, I've learned obviously a lot. He's a grafter. He's had his milk business and building. He used to work on the building as well. And he's up in the morning, 2:30 in the morning every morning. He's always the first down the yard. And that's what I did when I left school on the milk ground. So I've always been like an early bird, always been in work, and I owe a lot of my success to my father as well, followed in his footsteps.
Still in you, with that work ethic.
Yeah, the work ethic. You see I've gone into more personal training and stuff now. But you see on my Instagram, I'm up 5:10 every morning. I start class at 6 o'clock and just I'm full of energy and upbeat. And just
that's a lion for you now,
everyone says that. Are we so energized first thing in the morning? Like everyone's like rubbing their eyes coming on the Zoom class now. Like, no, I've always been a morning person, to be honest. I go to bed for something like 9:30, and I'm up early. Yeah. Mrs. shouts at me something, "Oh, you going to bed so early?" So I'm up early and
can't stay up and watch Love Island with her. Like,
exactly,
she's living, mate.
You know? So yeah.
Oh, mate, it's awesome though. And like, I seen your Instagram, and to be honest with you, I sent you a message the other day saying like it's inspiring to see, because some days like you can't be asked.
Yeah,
do you know
exactly.
What I mean? I think everyone's going through that at the minute.
I think that's been my main goal in my head as well with this lockdown as well. Obviously, you can't have the gym, so obviously we moved to like the Zoom classes, online stuff. And like my main goal is really just to keep people going. Like, do you know what I mean? And like I always say, in like on a couple of my stories, like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're doing my Zoom classes, get out there, exercise, get out there for walks. And I just want to motivate people to keep going, basically.
Yeah.
I know I find it tough some days for myself, like, do you know what I mean? Because that's more like my job role, do you know what I mean? Sometimes I kind of neglect my own training sometimes, because like I said before we came on, like, it's a bit of a mental effect on everybody, do you know what I mean? And everyone's feeling it, like this lockdown is tough, like, do you know what I mean? And they're saying about all these COVID numbers, do you know what I mean, mental health numbers, and obesity and all this is just, numbers must be sky high again.
Scary, man,
do you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? It should be more help out there for that stuff, rather than, I know obviously it's a scary time with the virus going along and stuff, but I think it needs to be a bit more of a balance, and you know what I mean? You can't just take one thing totally away and just focus on that. It needs to be a bit more of a balance across the board, like, innit?
Well, you're kind of like putting people in like cages as such, aren't you? And then like keep feeding them up, like, because they can't. I don't know. It's just awkward to. It just seems easier, more accessible to eat shit, like.
Definitely.
And then you're filling yourself full of that, and then when you let back out into the world, like, your immune system's probably gone to pot, like.
And like, it's just, the list goes on, really. And when you go down the shop, people are neglecting probably going shopping, really. And do you know what I mean? This nobody can go like supermarket, get a load of healthy food in for the week, have a little treat on the weekend. They might go out for food, maybe, innit? But people are just like too scared to go to the supermarket these days, innit? Do you know what I mean? I suppose they're getting in for food online and just takeaways, and it's just they're looking for the easy option, really. Do you know what I mean? It's just a knock-on effect on so much, like.
I feel sorry as well for like the older people who are stuck in, who like maybe looking at how many years have I got left, and am I going to spend them all like this? And also they're the ones in the biggest risk, so it's like,
exactly, it's tough. It's crazy. If my missus mother, she's going down the care home for the first time today. Now they're gonna have the COVID test, and they're able to see him like face to face for the first time in over a year, like, do you know what I mean? But it's just like they've just been seeing each other through a window, and just especially for older people, people like dementia and stuff, they must be like, what the hell's going on, like, do you know what I mean? It's
hard to understand.
really sad, really. But hopefully, it's light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully, the next month or so now things will be done and dusted. But I think it's always going to be there, but something we're going to have to live with, isn't it? It's like I said, I think it's just been handled all wrong. Like, to be honest, I think, like I said, the vulnerable should have stayed home, and the fit and healthy, you just have to get on with it. You know what I mean? I think they're lying to us with a lot of things, with the numbers, and the people hospitalised and all this and all that. I think it's a load of unseen business, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so as well. I think, like,
my opinion, anyway.
If you kind of wanted to, like, cut the head off a snake and call it a day, you kind of could have took the approach like Australia did or New Zealand, and either be mega strict when it's happening and then try and finish it. Yeah. But it just feels like, it's like, oh, we'll let it in, we'll let it out, we'll let it in. It's like kind of dragging it on. And like you said, I feel like there's probably some money being exchanged somewhere, like, in there.
Yeah, it's just whether it's conspiracies or like people having just fat paychecks, or do you know what I mean? Have
you been down the rabbit holes?
It's a crazy one, isn't it? So I don't know. We'd have to wait and see, but perhaps the truth will come out in the end. I don't know.
Yeah, mate, I think in like 2080 or whatever, they'll be looking back on the history class in school.
Yeah, exactly. Like, definitely.
Look at that. Look what happened there. I can't believe they're all walking around wearing their masks. And
Good idiots. But going back to the mental health side as well, like, I go to my own kids' academy, like, and I've seen a massive a step back for the kids as well, like, to me, because I think after the first lockdown, they're coming back when the gyms reopened the first time, and they were coming back like 15, 16-year-old kids. They put on like about a stone or 2 stone people, 2 stone of weight, like, do you know what I mean? And that's a lot for for a young kid, like, do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So like, the obesity is just going to rise and rise and rise, do you know what I mean? Especially with dragging the heels open in the not opening the gyms and stuff, do you know what I mean? So it's just it's really affected the kids as well, and I don't think they've kind of seen it themselves. They might not recognise it till they're further on in life, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Like, as someone who's like I've struggled with my weight up and down all my life, and like last year when the lockdown first came in, I was like 18 stone before then, and then like lost 4 stone, got in like the best shape of my life for me, and then like I hadn't been 14 stone before until the way up, like. But then I don't know, just this winter now, like, it's been different. Being locked down in winter is kind of takes your drive away a little bit, doesn't it?
Definitely. And I think like the way the months are matched up as well, is like on the backlog of Christmas and all that. And I think we had all that disappointment. We couldn't go shopping and stuff Christmas time, all that stress, and like obviously people just turned to comfort eating, didn't they? Yeah. And obviously the gyms normally January, like, everyone's back in the gym, innit? But obviously the gyms are closed, innit? So
like, what's the point? Like,
so I think people's January now is going to be kind of getting in shape for summer, like, innit? So it's gonna I don't know, just everything's just behind, like, innit?
Yeah, it's weird, mate. And I just hope, like you said, things just open up. Let's go again, innit? But I appreciate like seeing people like yourself on Instagram and all, because I feel like, some days I don't want to get up. I try my hardest to go out a few times a week running, and some days, stuff like that, you need to see at the right time, which will trigger you to do what you got to do.
That's why I try to be as vocal as I can on social media and Instagram and all that. People, it does help people. Even if I just go on and say a few positive quotes or whatever, like, do you know what I mean? But just my message to people is there's a lot of help out there. Like, obviously, I know a lot of personal trainers doing lots of things, Zoom classes, Facebook Lives. But my advice to you, just to keep going and keep exercising, and just have small goals, maybe. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you can't have major goals to look forward to. Obviously, with the gyms being closed, no competitions or no this and that kind of thing. But just keep taking over, and just like don't stress yourself out of going on these like fancy diets and stuff. Just enjoy the time and just use it wisely. Then, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's the most important thing now, is just get over this obstacle we're in, and just keep going. Mentally is the most important now for everybody. Not like I know physically is a lot as well, like, but mentally is the most important now.
Just keep it turning over.
Just keep them mindset switched on, and just you can't just be cooped up in the house looking at the 4 walls. And do you know what I mean? That's the downfall for people. Just you need to get up off their ass and get on with it. Nothing's going to change at the minute, so you've got to make the changes yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So
I've been finding like we got a mountain literally on the doorstep. For me, that's my go-to if I'm starting to feel a bit of shit.
Yeah.
Just take the boots on, go for a walk, and it just instantly, you never regret doing a workout. You only ever regret the ones you don't do.
Exactly, yeah. You've got some nice views up here as well.
Yeah, mate, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to be where we are. Do you know what I mean?
Especially in the things that don't cost anything. Sometimes are the most best things, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Around Llanelli, you got a lot of like like the beach, obviously the lakes and nice countryside and all that. There's a few nice walks, etc. So sometimes you don't even have to cost anything, and just get out there and enjoy the scenery kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I sound like an old man.
Mate, I always used to look. I was having this conversation with one of my mates the other day. I was like, can you remember when we were younger, we'd drive past someone out running in the rain, and I'd be like, who the fuck is that idiot? And now I'm like, I know exactly why they're doing it. That's the best feeling in the world.
Exactly.
Like, but
I used to be like, I was pissing down the rain like a bloke. What the fuck? Why is he in your fucking shorts for?
Look at that twat. What's wrong with him? Like, you must have something wrong with him to be out in this.
We used to go, when they were running in, just fucking go into a side puddle and soak up. You go to twat.
I know, imagine that now. You'd be livid, wouldn't you?
Imagine it was me, I'd be making chasing the car.
Mate, I think you all kind of go for that transition though, innit? Like you said, like mountain walking, I used to look at people, I used to say, oh, Jesus Christ, what are they up to? Like, that's a boring life, but realistically, that's where true happiness is, isn't
exactly, it? And I think it just goes by age kind of thing as well. If you ask like a 16-year-old go for a mountain walk now, you'd be like, oh, fuck you. I'm
going to have a can with my mates.
Exactly. So, it's just different generations, and then obviously as you get older, you appreciate a bit more maybe, innit?
Yeah. I think you get to like a certain age, I don't know what happens, but it's like, used to be like desperate for the weekend to come, and then I just started getting to the point where I was like dreading it, do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, fuck it, what am I going to do this weekend? Because I couldn't like control myself very well when I had a beer and stuff. And it's just easy to get down that path, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
It's harder to get back out of it. Like.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So, like I said, it separates the men from the boys sometimes, in day-to-day life things, and obviously, you just got to just take with a pinch of salt sometimes in it as well.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Like, but so now going forward, like you obviously fought under Matchroom for this last fight.
Yeah.
Do you like sign a contract with them from that? Or?
No. There was a deal. Like obviously, if you win, there's kind of winner stays on, so you get another chance straight away with Matchroom. Obviously, but obviously I didn't pick up the win. But obviously, I think I opened a few doors there. Like obviously, everyone knows me in Wales, kind of thing. And I noticed just by the social media followers, is like obviously when I was on Sky Sports, obviously I'll put on a good performance. Oh fuck, I follow this guy, kind of thing. Yeah. So I kind of grown in that. My stocks definitely rise then. Do you know what I mean? As they say. But hopefully Eddie heard no look at that and think, fuck, Angelo Dragone put up a good performance against Dante Dixon, who's a dangerous fighter, and perhaps I could test a few more of his prospects or something maybe. Do you know what I mean? But the plan going forward now is obviously probably going to wait till the crowds are out back.
Yeah.
Most important thing for me now is obviously my missus due in 10 weeks' time. So
congratulations.
Thank you very much. Get the baby safe and well, so that will be on May 23rd, the due date. And obviously I think I'll look around August time, and we already had a couple of meetings. Hopefully we're going to do like a homecoming show. So I've had like 2 like tough fights now. I want to not a fight, just to like a punch bag and all that, but get the crowds back and get some of my fans back. So they haven't obviously been able to see me for over a year now. Do you know what I mean? Obviously on the telly we're lucky enough, but just get that crowd back and get another win on the board, and hopefully push towards another Welsh title shot. So the fight before that, then it was a Welsh title. There's a bit of a controversy decision.
Was it?
I don't know if you've seen that fight. I fought the guy Christian Toos for the super featherweight Welsh title. That was on live on SVC as well. As a good fight. But like, it's just a bad decision really. Is up against it on the promotions as well, and it went down on the world's worst scorecards.
Really?
So again, they had more probability of losing. So it was just uproar really. It just but hopefully I mean, these things happen for a reason. At the end of the day, it hasn't made me dwell on things. It's made me more motivated to go and get that title.
Is he the current?
He's the current champion now as well, but I've been calling him out left, right and centre, but he doesn't want to.
He knows the truth, does he?
Yeah, he knows the truth, yeah. But you know, he wants to go on and do certain things. But I don't know if you've seen a video online. It's bit of a talking point, really. Like in Wales, I feel like we're so far behind on certain things, especially in the boxing. Like obviously, when you have the English boys, you have your English title, and that's known as a main title, the English title. But the Welsh title is only it's kind of more of an area title.
Right.
So like you'll have like a Midlands area title or a Southern area title, and Wales is known as an area title. But I just feel like Wales should be known as a to me that would be like a world title win in a Welsh title. Like
It's a country, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a country. So it's kind of down the pecking order for the belts, like. But I don't know who to blame and all that. But basically, I said like all these Welsh champions and Welsh titles, some of them, a lot of them are vacant.
Yeah.
So they're up for grabs when there's no one fighting for them. Like, and that would mean the world to me to win a Welsh title. Like, I should have had it last time. Like, but this, do you know what I mean? That's my goal in my head. I want to win the Welsh title. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of fighters in Wales are all around the same weight, but there's no one fighting for them. Promotions, they just like, because they cost a lot of money and more money and to put a title fight on the show. Normally, like when you have a Welsh title, you have a purse for 2 fighters, so it makes perhaps it's £2,000 for each each fighter. You might have some sanctioning fees, etc. But like obviously, when you're promoting a smaller show, it's not much money involved anyway. Then a lot of the time, promoters lose money, so it's just a knock-on effect for fighters at the end of the day. But it's just it's sad really that how serious an English title is taken, because like when you're in the pecking order with the English title, right, we have to fight the next person in line, or they get mandatories, or do you know what I mean? Wales, just if you become a champion, you can just sit and have it on the mantelpiece. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, if I was a Welsh champion, right, who's the next one? I'll fight the next man. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I just think it should be taken a bit more seriously, and someone should be right side. Wales is a country. You know, you got 4 or 5 super featherweights in Wales. Get them in order, get them fighting each other, innit? Do you know what I mean? And they want Wales back in, back on the map for small hall boxing, obviously due to this COVID and all that. So let's get some Welsh titles fights, and you know what I mean, get the fans back and get things excited. Do you know what I mean? They're no good on the mantelpieces.
You got me excited, mate. Yeah.
Go on, I sell you a ticket now.
Sold, mate. I'll come and watch it.
But it's frustrating because, like you say, I'm a fighter. I'll fight anybody. You mentioned Welsh title. I'll fight absolutely anybody in Wales. Not to be blowing my own trumpet or anything. That's what I want, and I'll go to fight anybody. But these guys win Welsh titles and they just sit on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's strange. There should be some kind of ruling in place, and that's all of my opinion is.
Who else is like in your weight class in Wales then?
Well, I mentioned on the video, like we have Rhys Edwards, who's 10-0. We got myself. We got I think Joshua John is Port Albert. We got David White Jr., another Cardiff fighter. Obviously Christian Toos is a champion super featherweight, but the featherweight then. Also Jacob Robinson, he's 8-0. But the featherweight title is vacant, so even if Toozy didn't want to fight, that title is vacant. So let's get 2 fighters involved and get it on, doesn't it? It makes sense.
It would help sell a card as well. You'd think in a way, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And when people see who's fighting on this show, Welsh title fight, and everyone who fights for Welsh title is normally a hell of a dust up, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? It's a very, a major title, and like I said, it'd be like a world title for me, like, so.
That's your goal.
That's my goal, and hopefully it should have happened last year, but hopefully towards the end of this year, perhaps we can get it on with anyone.
Well, you see, like as well, I expect it'll give you an extra drive and motivation now, having the little one and everything.
Oh, definitely. Like my kids mean the world to me. I got 2 children.
Oh, you've already got.
I got 2 children and one on the way. Like, and we were talking about that with my missus the other day. Actually, we were saying like. I went through a difficult time. Obviously, when we just talked about, like, and I had a difficult time with my ex-missus, for seeing my daughter and stuff. So we had to go through court and a bit of a battle and stuff, which was a really upsetting time for me. Really, that really took its toll on me. Really, but stayed strong, and when I fight as well, I have my kids' names on my shorts, like, so at the time I only had the daughter, like, so I had Olivia Millie on my shorts, and because at the time I was fighting in court this year and all that, and that kind of improvised me when I was in the ring, and it motivated me. So whenever I go my fight shorts, I make sure I have my kids' names on it.
Yeah.
Not just for my fight for them, like just cause I want them doing proud at the end there. I want them to look up to me and say, oh, my dad, he's a Welsh champion boxer, like, do you know what I mean? Or, do you know what I mean? I want them to look up to me, and my kids mean the world to me, and they're the best things of life, and children, and that's my main goal, to be successful for my children.
That's awesome, mate.
Yeah.
It's an awesome sentiment as well, and I think give them something to look back on in the future, like, and they can look at you fighting and go, oh, like, there's me there on the shorts, like, and it's kind of, I think that'd be awesome as a kid to grow up and see that.
Yeah. After the fight, on the Welsh title fight, it was the first time the two children, Olivia and Zayn, came to watch me fight, and that was a really proud moment, like, and they came running in the ring, even though I lost the fight, like, but they came running in the ring, and they were dancing on the ring, and I had them in my arms, but it was just like, that was enough for me, just holding my kids in my arms after that. It was a 10-round battle. My eyes were two split eyes open, and I just held them tight, and it was as if I won anyway. Do you know what I mean?
This is what matters, like, in life.
This is what matters, and I always look at that picture, and that's one of my proudest moments. Even though again, didn't win the fight officially, but that was a proud moment, like, do you know what I mean? The
unofficial Welsh champ.
Yeah. I'll take that. So, yeah. But no, I'll get there. I got the drive, I got the passion, and I haven't, like, do you know what I mean, 2 losses now hasn't phased me. It's made me stronger, it's made me more determined, and you look at the likes of Gavin Gwynn now, he's we had a lot of setbacks, a couple of losses on the big stage, especially in matchroom boxing. He lost his last, I think, 2 fights. I think he got back to winning ways, and then he took on another undefeated fight and won the Commonwealth title the other day. So he's another Welsh fighter, Welsh warrior, and look at someone like that now, and credit to him. I seen him post a video of bringing his belt home for his boy, like, and it's like, oh, that's lovely, and that's what I see in myself. Do you know what I mean?
Good another thing to add to your drive.
I just need a belt, man.
Just put it right there, for Christ's sake.
If worse comes to worse, I just go on Matland and get a belt.
Get someone to make one up.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you as well. Obviously, like, you're proud to be Welsh, but where does your name come from?
So my grandfather's come over to Wales when he was a kid. So Italy, obviously, Italian Stallion is my fight name. So it's weird, really, that nickname came across. Well, not weird, but when I was going back on the amateur circuit, we used to have the little kids on the stage. And I remember in the Penland Social Club, that's where we did a lot of our home shows. There's a hell of a difference, Penland and Wembley.
Yeah, definitely.
So the kids just go on Italian Stallion, and it just kind of stick from there, really. I like the Italian feel. You know what I mean? Like the Stallion, you know what I mean? It's a bit like Rocky Balboa style as well, like, so. So just come from that, really. But my grandfather came over in the war, Italy, Naples. He was brought up on like a bit of a poor little village. We've been out there a few times. It's crazy, like how they got on with life and lived the life. Really, it's really poor part of the world. We went over. My uncle got married. Out there, I didn't go at the time. Sorry. My uncle got married out there, and they did a lot of videos for me to see, and I just love the kind of culture and the big families, and they're all like on a big long table having their food, and like having food over there is just like a 3 hours, because family culture, laughing, singing, wine, drinking. Over here, we're just having a sandwich and we're going away.
Sitting on the sofa like Richard Corrie or something.
Yeah, it's just mad, but I do like to have the family around the table, and try and just to kind of have that bit of the feeling.
Yeah, you want to kind of bring that into your own life, like, and carry that forward. It's important.
And again, my missus have made me realise that a bit more. Like, just sometimes you're just on your phone, sometimes at the table. It's obviously a bit rude sometimes, and you should have time for your family, you know what I mean? And Yeah, she pulled me up on that the other day.
I expect though for you, like obviously you got a bit of a following, like you know, it's bound to sometimes get like overwhelmed with the PT and the following from boxing.
My phone is non-stop, like, and sometimes it does take its toll. Like sometimes it's just bing, 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 and then, like I'm quite active on social media as well. Like, and just people message me booking slots and inquiries, and obviously when I'm fighting as well, tickets. It's just crazy, like And so people don't realise when you're a pro boxer, obviously you don't get that in the amateurs. They don't ask you to sell tickets and stuff. When you're a professional boxer, like, you kind of got to sell yourself and all that, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of, like, I remember, like, obviously you advertise you're fighting on this certain date for 6-7 weeks, like, you know, on the social media, selling tickets, dropping them off tickets, and collecting money, counting money. And like you're trying to fight it,
trying to prepare for a fight as well, yeah.
And I always go back to people like the mess you like the day before the fight. I said, "Where the fuck you been for 6 weeks?" Then? You know what I mean?
You don't need that the day before.
No, like, oh, sorry, pal, sorry, man. Only just seen you fighting. I said, "You fucking prick." It's sometimes, especially when you cut the weight the final week, and again, those final ticket sales is just going to give you an extra bit of money as well. Like, so you got to do it, and you got to. It's hard work, like, but I've been fortunate. Recently I got a guy come on board, Peter Tiffin. He's going to help me with that kind of side of things. He's helping me with a bit of the social media. And yeah, he's just going to kind of, because he's got his own sports bar, like, so people kind of go and get the tickets from there, kind of thing.
That's handy. Yeah.
So we've got a kind of few ideas in place just to kind of help. When I was explaining like what I do, he's like, fucking hell, how do you have the energy? Like, it's crazy, like, but that's not just me. Like, all fighters are like, you know what I mean? If you haven't got that little bit of support, it's hard work, like.
Oh, definitely, mate. That's like, I know just sometimes, like, I got to turn mine off for a day. Every now and again, I'll delete the apps off my phone for like a couple of days, and just like have a bit of a break, because I haven't got like any following really, but I just have enough of just like going on there and just like scrolling. Do you know what I mean?
That's the worst. Then you just scrolling and just not even doing anything really.
Refresh, and then I'm like, I'm back down to where I was before.
Like, who the fuck's gonna follow me? So it's again going back to the generations and stuff, but just phones have taken over life, and I am put my hands up. I'm the worst starter. Like, I'm terrible for being on my phones, and the missus be chuffed now. I'm admitting.
That's the first stage of solving your issues, is admitting
I got a problem. So it's
I get everyone has, but I think everyone's got a problem with them. Like, there's no one, like, I walk into a room, like in work, we've got like a bait room, we call it, or whatever. There's like 10 guys sat around, or there was anyway until last year.
Yeah.
And like, you used to go in, have a laugh and all, and then like all of a sudden it turned into like, you could go in there, no one would be speaking. Like, do you know what I mean? It's nuts.
You often get like people post the picture when they're going like 4 or 5 on the table, and just everyone's head down in there. Yeah. No communication.
And social media, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
It's crazy. And obviously going back years ago, you didn't have all that to do, so it's mad.
It's less to worry about, like, when
definitely.
I think that's like half. It's good for so many things, like seeing like your posts and stuff and positive things, and like I enjoy listening to podcasts as well as doing them. So like for me, it's great. But then like sometimes I think it would be easier without it.
Yeah,
like,
definitely, 100%. And like the way like I think it's only going to get worse as well, because like the way Facebook and Instagram are like kind of being these days. Like, I think they want to charge you for the more people viewing your things and stuff, and I think eventually you probably have to pay for your own personal account. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, they get you that way. Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, there's millions of people on social media. If they charges people £1 for their account, it's fucking £1 million, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I'd have to have a job on Facebook.
You have to work for them, mate.
No, but you can see, like, sometimes you're trying to get, like, your social media people seeing your stories and getting them out there, but then I think they're taking a massive impact away now as well, and they're trying to, like, charge you for your to have more views and stuff like that. Like,
trying to get you to boost stuff.
So it's
Facebook especially, I don't know if you found that, like, with your, because like if you've got a page, innit?
Yeah.
Like, if you post it, I don't know, I've noticed it. If I post a YouTube link to my YouTube channel, it'll get like 100 reach. Yeah. But if I post a photo with no link and then say links in the comments, it'll get like 2,000 to 3,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just like they just because you're trying to push them over to YouTube, they just like block you basically.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're not showing anyone that.
And I noticed, like obviously when you put something up, like of course everyone's gonna see more. Like obviously if you're having a baby arrival or gender reveal, or like you have about 500, 600 likes, Facebook likes that. Where when you put a promo video up, it's like about 10 views, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
It's weird, isn't it? It's just,
I might just start like putting married in all of my posts or something. See what it does, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and like someone like Di from down the road now is just going down the shop, they put it as a status, and he'll have about 100 views.
It's like they don't like you promoting your business without you paying, innit? I think that's the key.
That's what it is, isn't it? It's it's just got you by the balls, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely.
So, yeah.
So PTing going forward, like you hoping to get people back in the room, or you?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the first time of the lockdown, I did a few Zoom classes, doing like a few Facebook lives, but they didn't really kick off as much as they have this time. I think people have realised, like obviously, exercise is important. Obviously, I think the quality of the classes have gone up now, so we've got a few other trainers involved in kind of a package kind of thing. Just making it affordable for everybody and just keeping people going, like I said. So it made it like quite a bit more into a bit more variety. And like I've had over like 45 people signed up for like a monthly package.
Amazing.
Which is brilliant. And like what I like about the Zoom as well, like my sister lives in London, so she joins on the sessions. Got a couple of people from Cardiff, Swansea, Llanelli come out, and obviously that wouldn't happen if you were in the gym, would it? They wouldn't travel down all the way for the gym session. So it has definitely added to my armour kind of thing. But I do miss like going into the gym and like watching the sparring, hitting the pads and all that. Recently as well, just always thinking about different ideas outside the box and all that, you know what I mean? So I've rented like a storage, because you're allowed to do outdoor training now as well. I think it's up to like 3-4 people. So obviously, when we had the bad weather the other day, I had to cancel clients all the time because it was raining and stuff. The hardcore ones would say, come on, let's crack on. But it's just a bit of a pain in the ass with obviously the weather, and just can't expect people just to do a lot of boxing sessions and up and down on the floor kind of thing.
Pissing down rain.
Pissing down the rain. It's not the same as that. So recently I rented out doing like a storage container.
Yeah.
And it's kind of turned into a gym. So we have got that kind of outdoor facility, and you know what I mean?
Cool.
So I'm using that at the minute as well for a few clients and all that. So you can kind of mix and match an outdoor, and obviously if it's raining, I can kind of chuck them in there. So nobody said anything yet. Waiting for someone to knock on the door, like so.
For someone to grass you up.
Yeah. So
I have to bleep all this out.
Yeah,
like.
No, like I said, you're allowed to train 4 people outdoors. You know, it's not like a gym as such. It's just like a shelter at the end of the day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, I'm just trying to think outside the box. And who's got a problem, you can come and see me.
To watch his fights before you
go see him. Watch your fights. So when I was in the gym, funny enough, we had like training standards. And the bloke came in, and I was in the middle of a 1-to-1, and he came in with no mask on or nothing. He's like, just being petty. Like we had in the gym up in Funky Pump Fitness, Llanelli. It's a bit of a bag room really. Just got like 30 bags up. It's not like your typical gym. It's just spit and sawdust gym, like in a good sweat and get out kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's got like loads of bags, about 30 bags on the brackets kind of thing. And the bloke came in, he goes, why have you got 30 bags up here? Because we've always had 30 bags in here. And he said, well, you're only allowed to train 15 people. I said, I do. There's only 15 people come in, because we were capping the classes, like. He goes, still, you're implying there's 30 people in here. I was like, well, no, I'm not, because there's 15. You come in here in the class, there's only 15 people in here. He's like, so still, you got to take them down because the social distancing. I was like, you're coming in here with no mask on now, and you're telling me about social. You're disrupting my 1-to-1 session. So that girl had to happen to join in my other group session. Do you know what I mean? My next client, sorry. And I was just thinking, what have we got to do to please people? Like, do you know what I mean? Especially these guys, like, it's crazy. Like,
come and count how many people come through the door, innit?
Yeah, exactly. We were doing things properly. Like, we had to like we had the temperature check, and we were making sure everyone signed the name in for the track and trace. We had that scan thing for the NHS thing. I know we're trying to do things sensibly and properly, and just getting everyone to wipe their bags down, and do you know what I mean? We were getting on things sensibly, like, do you know what I mean? But again, it's not enough. And recently now they put a post up. I would say like obviously the new gyms have got all these ventilations and stuff like that. Like, but someone like a boxing gym now, you know yourself, is a spit and sawdust kind of gym, innit? Do you know what I mean? I remember going back to the old gyms, like, you know what I mean, we used to do sit-ups on a bit of ripped up carpet kind of thing. There's no like aerobic mats and stuff then. It's just you know what I mean, it's not your boxing gym is not like one of those gyms you're gonna have ventilations. It's, you know, it's a blood, sweat and tears, isn't it?
It's not Planet Fitness,
no,
like,
exactly. So they're gonna say what this trying to say now, the gyms with like all the right ventilations and all this etc will open first, and then they will open at a smaller date, you know what I mean? So, sorry, at a longer date.
It kind of only ever lends itself to like the people who've got the money.
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Kind of never seems to favour the person who's like just getting by, you know. It seems to always.
And then they kind of contradict themselves, and obviously I'm grateful professional athletes are allowed to train and stuff, but then obviously they're in the gym training flat out for fights and all of that. Some professionals haven't fought over here, but because they're professional, they can train. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they kind of contradicting themselves in a way, really, innit? So why is it okay? Like,
if it's that dangerous,
yeah.
Like, even if you were professional, like, professional sports wouldn't be going on. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, television shows wouldn't be being made.
No.
Like I'm saying, it always seems to lend itself to people who are in the fortunate positions.
Football hasn't stopped, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Premiership.
So much money in it. Too much money.
Six Nations and stuff. I was listening to, I think it was Eddie, an interview and stuff, and they were saying, like, professional footballers was, they get, like, tested and stuff. But obviously, if they did catch COVID or something, it can still be in the system for like a certain amount of time, like, so whether if you had it and got rid of it within that 2 weeks isolation, whatever, it can still be in the system. But they got a rule now for footballers, once they've been tested, they don't have to be for like 80 days or something, or 90 days, something like that. Like, if they've had it and they've isolated, they can't be tested again for 90
they got
days.
Antibodies or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. So it's just
if
like,
it was anyone else, though, it wouldn't be the case, would it?
So it's just
we're paying him $500,000 a week. We can't have him on the side for too long.
It's crazy, isn't it? And you just think of all these people in the government now, and they're all like, having the discussions on the telly, on the news, and is everyone else having tests and stuff like that? You know what I mean? It's just who you know kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of jobs for the boys, and one rule for one rule for another sort of thing going on in it. But hopefully, mate, we'll get out the other side of it.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, it's light to the end of the tunnel, and you just got to keep driving, keep pushing, and just do what you can, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it.
yeah, mate. Well, can I just ask you one last question?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
For someone like growing up who was in the struggles you were in, like with alcohol, drugs, and that, what would like be your message for them to try and get themselves out of it?
Yeah, message for them is obviously, obviously it's very difficult as a youngster. You all got all your best mates doing it and all this and that, or you think they're your best mates at the time. But for me, it's just like, obviously try and keep yourself grounded, and obviously if you do happen to go down that path or road, whatever, there is help out there, like, do you know what I mean? And obviously, the worst thing I did was neglect my parents. Like, my mum and dad have always done everything for me, like, and supported me since I was born, like, do you know what I mean? And do you know what I mean? I neglected them in a way, and like when I talk to them about problems and get things off my chest, it made me better, to be honest. And just if you're ever struggling, there is obviously help out there. Do you know what I mean? Go to your, obviously, boxing was my thing. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but get yourself out there, do some exercise, to join the local gym or a gym, and just try and keep get your focus on something. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's fucking boxing, football, rugby, and just for me, it's been a thing of surrounding yourself with good people as well. Do you know what I mean? I noticed that in my professional career as well. Like, you got to have a good team around you. People to guide you. So I even though I'm over all that now, but I need guiding as well to put me still on different paths of life.
Get you on the next level.
Yeah, and I always, everything I've learned, I put it onto my own clients now, and my students in my kids' classes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I try and like boxing is it's not just about hitting the bags and hitting the pads. It's you have your like life lessons and stuff. Like you mean it teaches you discipline, respect, and you know what I mean. It helps you in so many different life skills. Then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just going back to that. Just get yourself involved in something. I would to get on with it.
Mate, yeah. So basically, just apply yourself to something that you think you're going to enjoy. Step outside your comfort zone. Surround yourself with good people, and
exactly. And just like your mind is a powerful thing. Like it just controls everything. Do you know what I mean? And if you haven't got that mindset, you can slip into those slippery paths and all that. Do you know what I mean? So you got to find that focus and use that mindset, because everyone's got the same mind as you. Just got to you got to want it and believe in yourself, and just focus on your life. Like then you only get one life. You gotta make it own. Like your post the other day was it make the best out of your life. You know what I mean?
Exactly, mate. You gotta have news.
100%.
I spent years of my life. I'm not saying I got talent or whatever, but like I'm up for trying to make the best of myself now. And I spend years wasting my time. Like not still my friends and stuff, but like you said, unless you surround yourself with positive people who've got a similar drive to you, you're not gonna step forward. You can
you can go through life just pleasing others all the time, and then I mean, you forget about yourself sometimes.
Definitely.
I'm a worst critic sometimes. Sometimes obviously I give all this advice and stuff, and then I kind of forget myself. Hang on a minute now, I'm gonna get back on that path again. You know what I mean? So just the list goes on really, but it's all experience. It's all do you know what I mean? If you don't have a few knocks on the road, you know, it like I said, going back to my fights, it makes you who you are. Like, you know what I mean? So. So
well, massive respect, mate. Thank you very much for coming on. Where can people find you just before we leave?
So you can find me on all social media platforms, really: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Hit me up. Like I said, I'm doing a lot of fitness Zoom classes. Everybody was struggling for a bit of motivation. Get yourselves involved. I think it'll be the best move you do, and it'll get you moving.
Get following him, and
shout out to you as well for inviting me on the podcast and all that. Like I said, you're doing good things and all that, and it's very you caught my eye and stuff as well. So it's great to see someone doing well. So keep up the good work, pal. I'm sure you'll have some more big names on there.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate, and we'll sit down again in the future anyway
definitely.
after the next fight or something. So,
awesome. Thank you very much, pal.
Cheers, mate.
Top man.
Experience Real Podcast.